All right, let's talk some trash about the Hulk Hogan controversy. Um, First off, what he said was wrong. There's no question about it. There's like that's not at all like, oh, is that questionable? No, that's absolutely horrible behavior, and that's easy, right? That's a no-brainer. Okay. I think the controversy is so many people are pissed off about it. It was, it wasn't yesterday. It was a while back. And since it came out, he apologized, which isn't a big deal, but at least he didn't like double down on it, right? He apologized for it. He's got a lot of people that kind of like vouch for him, like guys like Booker T and Stevie Ray and all those guys, right? That are athletes that he knew and stuff, and they said they didn't feel that he was ever like that around them, which could, just be him on his best behavior kind of stuff. But that helps his case at least that those those witnesses or whatever you want to call them can verify that his behavior wasn't like that. And then Hogan's known to be the guy that like has kind of like Bret Hart thinks he screwed him over and all that kind of stuff. And there's nothing from the past saying that those kind of things happened um, in like a racial context. Like that like kind of brings it to like that happened. Where's the Me Too movement, right? Normally, when famous people do something and it comes out, like Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, uh, Cosby. I mean, there's just a list of right people that come out. Something happens, and all of a sudden, it's like all these people are like, "Look, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened." There's like none of that with Hogan, right? There's no people from 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago saying, "Oh, he was really, his behavior was very racial motivated and all that kind of stuff." There's like none of that, right? So it kind of, again, what he did was wrong. What he said was, it's just a word that nobody should use, but whatever, it gets used a lot. Um, but it shouldn't, and Hogan definitely shouldn't have used it. Um, and you can't excuse it, but you can. Like I've been mad at people. Like one of my best friends one time, a guy that I absolutely had his back at all times, um, pissed me off one day by saying something that it was just a day and it built up, and then he said something and I yelled, got in an argument with the guy, and I didn't. I said things that were mean. I didn't mean to say it. Like I was just mad. It was things that I can honestly say I really didn't feel, but I kind of like just kind of said it because I was pissed off at him, and I had to apologize and everything like that, and whatever. That's just some people get mad. Typically, I don't. So that was one of those days that I really went farther than I ever did. Because this guy I respected, but for some reason that day, like I said to him, the stars must have been aligned or whatever. I don't know. Is I really didn't feel that way. I just was pissed off, and he said something that set me off, and then it just turned into a big argument. So people say things out of anger, and I know for a fact that I'm the type of person that don't. I go out of my way to not say anything, so that I don't say something that's offensive or mean, and I don't say that word, and I don't usually even try to go at digs like that. You know what I mean? Like I might say, "Oh, you're an asshole" or something like that, but I'm certainly not going to bring in anything, sexuality, race, whatever, none of that. And I know that I'm a very reserved guy, and that one day, I definitely said jerky things to him, and um, so I feel like maybe that Hogan thing might have been something that just went too far, and maybe he really was apologetic about it. Maybe he realized that that was a big mistake on his side. You're never gonna know, right? He could have just been me like, "Thank God I got away with it," kind of thing. But at the same time, the only people out there hating on Hogan, I'm like seeing it all the time, are people that don't even know the guy, right? It's just people that are offended that he said a particular word, which is a bad word, but a lot of people say it, and I don't think those people are offended by them saying it. Um, it just seems like you're holding a grudge against the guy that you don't even know, based on just you're mad that he said something. Um, and then what is there's an accusation he fired a black woman, something like that. Well, I fired a lot of people when I was a manager. It's part of the job, right? So you can't say, oh, he is there evidence. As far as I know, what I've looked up, there's no like real evidence that he fired her because she was a black woman. Um, it's his business or whatever, right? If he felt she wasn't the person he wanted, well, then he has a right to let her go and get somebody else. He can't say. I guess you can say it, but I mean, common sense. It's not something that you can say what he made the decision based on, unless there's like real reasons out there, and I haven't seen any. So, um, again, I think everybody's overreacting. The people that really knew him, nobody's coming out saying it. People that worked with him, people that hated him, like Bret Hart, all those people, they're none of them are coming out and saying, "Oh, Hogan was a racist. Oh my God, I've been keeping it under. You know, I didn't want to be the whistleblower. You know, no, nobody." So, again, maybe he's not the super racist that everybody's thinking that he is. Did he say awful racist things? Yes. Could he have said it because he was mad and he was raging against a particular person, and he knew that by saying that word it was like offensive and he was being like, right? He certainly could, because people do it and then they apologize. Lots of people do it when they're mad. They say things that are not okay. Um, but he's a celebrity. How is he gonna like come around and apologize to everybody, right? So it just, I just feel like this Hogan thing is just crazy, man. I'm not saying he's a great guy, I'm just saying he's iconic, and then we have all these people who are like literally like just saying horrible, rotten things about a guy that they don't know. So um, maybe chill out and relax. We got enough hate in this world. The man's dead. So if you don't like him, guess what? He's gone. That's good for you, right? But uh, that's my unnecessary 2 cents in the Hogan controversy.